welcome to the Literary Labyrinth podcast with your hosts, me, Leela, who loves escapism, fiction, fantasy, anything that's not real.
And Linda, who just likes to read if she had time.
That's right. And we are two sisters, one who reads fast.
And one that reads slow.
Woo! Well, welcome on in. We are discussing Shields of Sparrow today. This is our new
Yay!
section. So if you tuned into our podcast last week, we discussed the first parts, 1 to 10 in terms of chapters. And so now we're moving on to the second part. But just a few tidbits before we get stuck into the episode. We are on social media. So please, if you can follow us or tell your friends, your book friends about us, we are at Literary Labyrinth Podcast, all one together, and Instagram and TikTok. And you can also find us on YouTube, and you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast from, but you can look at us and listen to us on YouTube and Spotify. So that's mainly the bits. So let's get to the main reason why you've tuned in today. We are talking about Shields of Sparrow. Spoiler alert for which chapter are we discussing, Linda?
So we're on part 2 today, and it's chapters 11 to chapters 20. So yeah, previously she was a princess and she wasn't supposed to get married, and then now she's been put into this marriage, and she has no idea about the country she's going to. She's off traveling to it, and her family doesn't seem nice. So yeah,
they do not seem to care. They seem to favor the other sister, and so basically here we are, and this poor girl has been thrust into the situation and told, you must fight, you must be a spy, you must kill the guardian who's a super powerful guy, and you cannot ask reasons why. We just need something in an area that you do not know where it is. So real helpful, Dad.
Yeah, she doesn't ask a lot of questions either. So we're not getting that much out of here. So yeah, this is where we start, like chapter 11. So the last we saw of her, she was on this boat to get to Chura, where is the kingdom she's going to be the princess of now. And then there's a massive crossing further than the Channel crossing. Let's say it's from like Southport, Southampton to
it's
Morocco. Okay,
yeah,
they've got to go far.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a stretch to get to, and very perilous as well.
Yeah.
So it sounds we're kind of halfway through the journey at this point. So
her lady's maid is sick, and she's got a strong stomach, and the guardian is peeving her off, and her husband Xavier does not want to talk to her, really. So there we are. We're on a boat.
Look at me, everybody, because I'm standing on a boat. Okay, sorry. So Odessa, who is our main female character, she wears dresses. That's what they wear in her land.
Remember? Grey dresses.
Yes, but that's because her stepmom's a bit horrible to her. She doesn't want her to wear colour or outshine her daughter.
Yeah.
We're not really sure. She also dyes her hair. That's another thing. Anyway, so she... chapter 11 starts with a really fun thing, actually. I quite enjoyed it because it's been said that the ladies can wear trousers and it's not a big deal. They don't have to wear dresses. It's kind of more functioning. So she has been left trousers and a blouse, and she's like, oh, I'm not wearing that. But today in chapter 11, she comes out and her lady's maid, Brielle, goes, Highness, what are you wearing? She's like, pants.
She's like, I like pants. I
They're
like
quite
these
comfortable. She'll feel like shocked. Her lady's maid are not. They're not happy, or they're not agreeable to them.
But in Quintus, pants are only for men folk. But here, she's allowed to wear them whatever she wants. So yeah, fitting in with the Chura fashion. That's where our main character is right now. Fitting in.
Yes. So she goes up, she says, let's all get some air on the deck.
Oh yeah, lady's maid.
All of the men who've pretty much been ignoring her the entire time that are working the ship, they all go and they stare and they look. And she's like, they must be looking at my lady's maid because she doesn't rarely come up, and she is quite a beauty. Let me just turn and tell her, pay them no mind. Bitch, she's the only one there. They're still climbing up the stairs because they're wearing skirts. And she's like, oh, I must have climbed faster because I'm wearing pants, as the Americans say. And they're looking at me in the fashion. No, good heavens. Shocker.
Yeah. So yeah, she's like, yeah, fitting in here. But so they're in this thing called the Krasineth crossing, and
Yes.
it's been like for the past 2 days, they've like it's just been storms and rough seas. So Briella, her handmaid lady, is like really feeling it. She's really ill. So that's why she's
They're kind
taking her off
with all
there.
due respect, they've been pretty useless. And they have admitted that. They've said, we feel bad, we haven't braided your hair, we haven't done all this stuff. And she's like, it's fine. And I'm kind of at this point like, did they need to come with her?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I knew maybe her dad
At this
forced her.
point,
I think maybe her dad forced them to go so that like she could send them back with further information of where this, because she's obviously never coming back. The king knows that. The king knows. He said things to her, but he knows she's not coming back.
yeah, they lying. They lying.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
So yeah, so she's there. Uh, so what happens? They're up the top there trying to get some air when the guardian comes up, and he's like, "Oh, you're wearing the clothes, my queen. Fancy,
I do love every time he calls her my queen. And
my
you're
queen."
like, damn.
Also, I don't get why his eyes keep changing. Like he's
There's
like, "Oh,
obviously a significance to that, and it must be he has, like, so many different demons or monsters inside him. I don't know. I'm just assuming at this point. I don't really know how the monster thing works, but it feels like certain areas have different eye colors. For example, Quintus, was it the starbursts or something? She
mhm,
doesn't have that, but they all
yeah,"
seem to
which
have
is
that.
weird.
So it's like, what's that about?
But his eyes go like silver, I guess, when there's danger or something. This is what I'm thinking. I don't know, but like I'm thinking they go like silver when there's danger. They're green now when they see her, but then they sometimes go brown, and I don't know what that's for. So I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's definitely obviously going to be something that comes up later in the story. So anyway,
Mhm.
so she's on the deck, the Guardian's popped up. She's just, he's being his classic, like, you know, you can wear in the clothes. Ooh,
And she just
cool.
said she
And
wants to fit in and be a Turin. And he's like, "You're not a Turin." Like really, like just like okay. I
it's like
mean,
quite an aggressive, like, yeah, but you're not. And you're just like, what's your deal? And he's just saying, yes, but my husband is. And
why'd you
it's
disclose
almost like a reminder of, by the way, your friend married me. So
it? Yeah,
whether you like that shit or not, that's what the deal is. I think
yeah.
he's pissed about that.
So they're a bit like baiting each other, but then all of a sudden, like the boat, doesn't it? The boat like wobbles and gets hit,
Oh
and
my God. Can I just say this whole piece that we're going to talk about? Praise to the pants. Thank God for
thank
pants.
God for pants. But the pants, that will be dead. Let's get into it.
Yes. So they are attacked essentially by marrow eels, right?
Yeah, marrow wheel or marrow eel? I don't know.
Marrow eels.
Eels, marrow eels. Okay,
Slithery eels, but they're masculine ones, so they're bigger than the ones that she saw before. Because before they were female and they were slightly smaller. Now they're big chunky men. So apparently they're bigger.
and she's like, "Oh, right." They're all like, get to the harpoons. We're gonna kill him." Brielle's like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Oh my life!" And then
Because
you're just
that's
like, "Oh,
right. She's like, get below deck. And he's like, are you insane? If it sinks, it's going to flood where? Down below.
yeah,
And she's like, oh, okay. So then they hide like under the stairs, I think, of where the ship is, the
yeah."
wheel or something. Sorry, I don't know ships, so I apologize. I don't know the terms, so I'm just going
Sure.
with it.
So yeah, when this is all happening, the Guardian's eyes shift from green to silver. So that's why I think I'm like, oh right, they must be like when there's danger or there's monsters, they go
It's like a
silver.
little bit like a Power
Yeah.
Rangers. It's like activate, Choing. And now I'm silver mode.
Yeah, you're like, okay, right. And then, so yeah, they're all trying to get this marrow wheel, and then they figure out, oh, Jocelyn's not with us. Where is she? Oh, yeah, she's sleeping downstairs. Oh no, I better go get her. And she's wondering, like, oh, where's Xavier? He was the marrow wheel killer. And I am like, oh my God, like, he didn't kill these marrow wheels. We know the Guardian did. Like, just put two and two together. Like, nobody needs to tell me in the book. It's the
It's
Guardian. Snap out
let's
of it.
all just say Xavier ain't done shit. He's a nice guy, but he ain't done it.
He's on the other boat. He doesn't give a crap. Okay? You're on your own now.
So anyway, she's like, oh shit, and he's like, Cross. He keeps calling her Cross, which is
Yeah, he
obviously
doesn't
her
call her. Like,
maiden name. Yeah, but isn't that interesting? He doesn't want to acknowledge the husband.
she's
Because
not
even
cool.
before when she said, oh yeah, but my husband, and he's like, oh, and what a dutiful wife you are for now. And you're like, what is this banter? Love it.
Yeah. What is going on?
So yeah, so the fight's happening. Jocelyn's nowhere to be found. She tries to go find her. And then the Guardian's like, starboard, starboard, on the starboard side, there's some marrow eel.
And the eel like hits the boat, doesn't it? And it like hits it, she plummets, and then towards the water rushing her way, and she manages to like plant both her boots on the railing and stop herself from flying overboard. But then it hits again, and she's like, boom.
Ah, yeah, she goes into that water, and thank God for jumping off a cliff. Because I actually had a moment, I was like, whoa, can she swim? And I was like, no, we know she can swim. It was established at the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
She can swim.
But these boats are going so fast. Like they're like speeding like fast. So she
Yeah,
can't catch
it's a
up.
pretty fast ship. And so there's a point where she hits the water, and then the Guardian's like, swim, move it. And she's like, I'm going as fast as I freaking can. And I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, you screwed.
Swim. Go. No, let's
But
go.
but he doesn't make any effort to get off the ship. He just looks and goes, let's go.
Yeah. Until finally I think he says like harpoon, and he manages to get the harpoon and just points it to her and throws the harpoon her way.
I just love it. He's just like, it's fine. She's like, oh well, guess he's not gonna save me. Just gonna let me die here. I think a marrow eel is coming up on my foot.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going to
she
die.
feels it, doesn't she? She's like, oh, that's it. Something's brushed against my leg. Something sharp. Uh-oh. And then yeah, the marrow wheel like he's like throwing the harpoon, telling her to hold on, dragging her at the same time. This marrow wheel is like following her to hit the boat, or trying to eat her. I don't know like how big this marrow
I know,
wheel is.
I wasn't, I'm assuming it was trying to eat her, but at the same time, I just thought if a marrow eel's that close to your foot, how come it's not eating you already?
Maybe it was turning. It was already in mid turn, and it went, ooh, what's that? Come back around.
Or maybe it doesn't see so well on the side or something. I don't know. Anyway, so he harpoons and she guess holds the
Yeah.
whatever,
Well,
the rope part, but the harpoon itself is actually into a marrow eel. So not only is she being launched into the air, there's a freaking marrow eel behind her that she hasn't
yeah.
noticed. And then
Yeah.
she like kaboom lands onto the ship
Oh,
deck
yeah.
again.
Because
And
the
then
marrow
she's
wheel flies in the air, and she flies with it.
I know, and then they land together and it's near her foot, and she's like, "Oh gosh, shit!"
Yeah.
Ah!
And he just like chops off its head. It's like the head skewered with a harpoon, and it's just like,
And it's so funny because, like, after she's there screaming, she's like, the Guardian's just saying, "Let it drop, hold it." And she's like,
yeah. And Brielle's just like, I thought you were dead.
what's hysterical is that Xavier was on the other ship, and then he
Oh yeah.
comes over and he just looks and he goes, "Cool, she's still alive." And then the Guardian's like, "Nod." The hell is this shit? Nod? Bitch almost
Your wife's
died.
fine. That would have been awkward. Yeah. Imagine that, like going with your bride, then she's dead, and you're like, well, actually, why did he save her? Because that you would have been out of that agreement anyway. You would have been like, yay, I'm out of
That's
the
what I'm
agreement.
saying. there's a reason why she's still alive, because they would have just said,
It
"Oh, well, she's
wasn't
dead
their
now."
fault that she went overboard.
No.
They can't kill her as part of the agreement, but if she fell overboard by her own, like, she did it herself, but so it's not their fault. They could just leave it there.
Oh, but like the Guardian, once he gets her, and he's pissed. She's like saying, "I'm sorry." He's like, "When I give you an order, you obey me." And I have to say, even
No.
through being through an absolute traumatic thing and being beaten down by her family and not having much self-confidence, this is the moment I was like, respect,
Yeah.
respect.
Have respect for yourself. Stand up. And she's like, nah, I'm not doing that. Yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, no, I'm not doing this. And she's like, I wouldn't and couldn't cower for this man.
Absolutely
I
not.
refuse to give him control. But also, yeah, she's just like, nah, I'm a princess. Who the F are you?
Also, like, I mean, she's been told what to do by men, and this relationship is by men as well. So I do like, she's like, "I will listen when it matters of safety for myself, for other people. I will do my best to say the fuck out of the way. But I will not bend to your every whim. I will not humiliate myself because you deem me insignificant. If you wanted me to stay quiet, then you should have let the marrow eel eat me." And I'm like, burn.
He just walked away. Yeah. Then she goes, thank you for saving my leg.
I know, I love that. She's like, "Also, thank you. Bye."
So yeah, she's not even got to Chura yet, and she's almost being killed.
But praise the Lord for pants. Thank God for pants.
She loves the pants. She's not going to go
Love
out
the
those pants
pants.
now. So yeah,
Nah.
yeah. So that all happened, but after the whole thing with her falling in, her hair dye. Remember, she's had to dye it brown.
That's right. So it's probably vibrant, fiery ginger,
It was
basically.
more red than brown, so she's got.
So more of a
She's losing.
gaga.
She is getting through that powder dye.
And apparently it really stinks.
Yeah, but I don't understand. Like, no one's telling me why she has to dye her hair. Like, is somebody
Well,
against?
and
Do they have something against gingers? Like,
I know, exactly. It's like, "You got a problem with gangers?" Like, so I think her mom had a problem with her stepmom, sorry, had a problem with it. But in terms of this, she's going, "Well, Xavier asked for a brunette. That's what he wants. So I must supply the brunette." And you're just going, "Honey, I don't think it matters." Anyway.
no, I don't know why it's a big thing. So yeah, anyway, she is like trying to sort out her hair.
Bit
And then
traumatized at this point. She's going
yeah.
through it. Yeah, which is fair. She almost died.
And then the Guardian's there saying, hey, hey, again. And his eyes
Hey,
hazel.
hey, hey!
Hey again, what are you doing?
The
His eyes are
Guardian here.
hazel today. Why is his eyes hazel today? I don't really get that. So yeah.
Contact lenses.
We don't know, like, and like, so she's just like, right, she was expecting a stream of crimson, but the liquid wasn't red. It was shades of dark green. That's the color of the monster's blood. So apparently she goes up to Death
Oh.
and she sees the Guardian, hey, hey, hey. She's like, what is that awful smell? And he's like, oh, I hung the marrow wheel up and it's dipping its blood into the bucket, but it's not red. It's like horrific green. And she's like, that smells awful.
I know. And it's so funny when she says the blood's not red. And he's like, very observant, Cross. And I'm like,
Explain.
listen, with your bitch ass sass, you need to
Yeah.
calm your tits.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's just like, oh, right, okay. So we find out a bit more that the blood of the female marrow wheels that Xavier apparently killed did not, were red. But the males are green? I wasn't really too sure. And she said, why are the eyes white, not black? Is it male or something? A different kind of monster? And he just goes, it's male. That's it.
Yeah, he's really dismissive. The other thing I feel, if why has she written this line? I feel like this must be significant because she says, "It should have killed me. In the water, I felt something brush against my leg. It should have eaten me then and there.
Yeah.
Why didn't it?" So I just feel, why would you put in a line that says, It should have
Right.
eaten me. Why didn't it? And they're like, "Oh, it must have just been looking at the boat. It didn't think about it," you know? What?
Maybe you're just a fast swimmer. And I'm like, nah, no, like there is something. Like, And she did say, why didn't you jump into the into the water to rescue me? Wouldn't that have been faster? And like, he doesn't really say anything. Say anything. I feel a bit bad for her.
I love it because he doesn't. It's just like,
Yeah.
she's like, "Shall I consult you with the next time you nearly devoured by a marauder to make sure the way in which you were spared from its jaws is acceptable?" And I'm like, "All right, sassy
Yeah.
bitch."
He does say something important here, like, 'cause he said, he stared at the monster that was like dripping with the green blood. And he says, not all monsters are born from the gods, my queen. Some of us were made.
Yeah, so that's a
He said,
significant
some
point.
of us.
Yeah, so she's made. That's a clear instance. So she's a
I know,
maid.
him. He's a monster.
No,
He's made.
he's made, but she's also been made by something. But I don't think she's a
Okay.
monster, but she's like, I just think this whole, I don't know, the thing about her mum and the king, it's all
Yeah,
just
just
very vague.
disappearing. Mm,
Her hair is different, her eyes are different. I
what's
think
going
there's
on?
something, I'm not saying she's a monster per se, but I'm saying she could be made in a different way. Because if the gods can make monsters, they can make other things. But speculation. Speculation.
Yeah. So that was a bit weird. But anyway, she's off now to try and find Xavier. Where's Xavier? He don't care about her. He's on another ship.
Yeah, he's on the cleaver, which is not the ship
Yeah.
they're on. They're on the cutter, and she's getting a little bit like, okay. But I do like the Guardian's like, "Oh, you're curious about Xavier's whereabouts, are you, Sparrow?" And she's like,
Yeah, he's in her all the
"Yeah."
time. He's my husband,
And
yeah.
then, but it's funny because she's like, "Maybe I'm hoping just shows me someday in terms of his why do you ask him where he sleeps?" And she's like, "Maybe he'll show me someday." And then she turns around and he's right there.
Yeah, that's what he's like, awkward. Awkwardness. And
And then he
anyway,
just goes, what's he says?
what does he say? I can't remember.
I think
Like,
he just says, "I share my room shares a wall with yours."
oh yeah, my brother says, my rangers stay on the Cleaver. I was training with them. And she goes, and she just kind of tiptoes away. And then they're having a chat and
Oh,
like about the monsters and being armored. And she's like, hold on. I want to be like armed. I'm not armed at this whole thing. Like, and they're like, no, no, like we'll keep you safe. And that's why she's like, no, I want a sword.
but you know what's funny though? Again with the Guardian sass. Don't worry, we'll keep you safe. Especially if you stay on the fucking ship.
He says that in front of Xavier as well. So like, it makes me think like Xavier just doesn't give a shit about her.
I was just like, this guy. Anyway, yes. So she says exactly what you said. Weapon, please. I want to be
I want a
armed.
sword. And he's like, okay, yeah, hold this then. Don't want to hurt yourself. And she's like, well, she's not very good. She can't hold the sword very much.
And but to her credit, he's like, have it held. I think like, just hold it in
Yeah.
your arms at like shoulder length, and just hold
Heavy.
it for X amount of seconds. And she struggles to do it, but she does it.
Yeah. She does do it, but
Ish.
it's really heavy and she really struggles to balance with it. And he's just like, no, like you're getting tired. She's like, no. And she doesn't. And he's like, as if he's like, you can't stop. And she's like, I can hold it. She just wants to like beat, like buy the time. And she's
Yeah.
like, he'd hit the blade, forcing out my hand. Like, so he throws it out of her hand and like toppled over the end. And then the hilt crashes into like his grip. And she's like, and then he goes, your former fiance must not have a big sword.
He's a sassy little bastard. Oh, this
I
guy.
know.
This guy. Swear to God.
Haunting.
And then he actually lifts it and poises it at his neck. He's like, oh no, wait, is it? Doesn't he
No,
like
that's
point it
before
at
that
her
time when
neck?
she's holding it. Before she's
I thought
holding it, he puts it next to his neck because he knows that she's been sent by the king to like assassinate him. And then he hits it
Mhm.
out of her hand and does the whole, and then grabs it off her.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So, Yeah, he's like, fine, we'll get you a sword. Xavier relents. And then she goes, thanks, all right. So she heads off, but then she's kind of getting a bit mopey. But then she's like, well, hold on a minute. I'm just going to stay here. And she kind of, she like round the corner? She likes hiding somewhere?
Yeah, they kind of look at her. She was supposed to
The
go
back door?
downstairs under the ship, but she doesn't go. She thinks she just stops at the top of the stairs to
That's right.
eavesdrop. And she hears that they say, it's spreading. And the Guardian goes, I know. And you're like, what? What's spreading? The marrow wheels?
That's
What's
right.
going
And
on?
then he says, arming her is probably a bad idea. And he's like, the Guardian responds saying, probably. But then Xavier says, you realize she's going to try to kill you? And
Yeah,
you're
so
like,
he knows already, and we already know she was. They know everything that the king was trying to do. The king knows, like they know that she's been sent to like spy on them and to kill them
they
and stuff.
know. They're ahead of the game. I mean, if the marriage situation switch that happened in the beginning of the book doesn't tell you that they have already intel, this is
And
obviously
that's
it.
why they didn't
So,
pick May, because they knew she would like try and kill, and they'd have
yeah.
to murder her.
Yeah.
And like, yeah,
So, yeah, so then he's like, don't you think it's a bit stupid arming her? And he's like, I've had worse ideas. And then that's the end of the conversation. But the main thing you get out of that is it's spreading and they know that she's going to try and kill the Guardian.
yeah.
But what is it?
What
Something
is it?
within the
What's it
monster
spreading?
kingdom.
Yeah, exactly, something. So she goes to bed and she wakes up the next day and she hears birds, which means land. So we're like, finally, we can get off this friggin' boat. It's been like, I don't know how many chapters on a boat.
I have to say, the one thing I do like about Devney Perry's writing is it's very blunt and to the point sometimes, with especially through her telling of Odessa's personality. You can
Hmm.
definitely feel it because there's bits where she's like, "Oh, the sound of birds, like cover," and then my eyes popped open and I lifted off the mattress and rubbed her. I was on a ship. And she went, blarg. Just being able to write blarg is just
Yeah,
really
right.
great. Then she face planted into a pillow. No, she just realized she's not in her nice, comfy house, her comfy castle. She is on a boat. On a boat.
Yeah, so she goes upstairs. It's like, yay, let's go upstairs, find out. And she tries to talk to a man upstairs, and she's like, "Excuse me, how far are we from like Chura?" And he just looks at her and doesn't say anything. And
He
she
just
thinks
sort of
it's
like lifts his chin, sort of like to go over
yeah,
there or something.
and
So
she thinks it's because of her eyes. And we get a bit more like about soon. It's the lack of amber starburst in my irises. Some people would ask about my eyes, but mostly unsettled others. They simply looked away, and I'm like, "Oh, what's wrong with her eyes? She's fine." And then she goes, he doesn't say a thing and just goes, "Thank you." And she's just like, right, okay. Why is no one talking to me? Why does nobody like say anything to me? Like, what's going on? But
I
yeah,
don't
the
know.
Guardian shows up again when she's just like looking around, and he's just like, "You'll see land soon enough, Sparrow." And she's like, "For God's sake." Like,
Boo. It's like, how long
so
are we out? And he's like, you're not wearing pants. And she's like, well, yeah, because they're wet, right?
yeah.
And she's like, I've been in a gown the other days. I wouldn't have been able to swim as fast. But yeah, but that's so she's got a new set of pants is what's happening here. Sorry.
Yeah, he's got her a new set
So
from his magical wardrobe. I don't know where he's getting
for the
these like.
magical guardian opening her door and
Did he
putting
go
them there,
shopping before, like
I
for the
I,
her? And
I
it's
don't.
all her right size as well.
There must be somebody on that boat that's making shit. That's how I see it. Somebody is making stuff. Like there's a seamstress
Her
on board.
measurements right
There's
down with your pants.
Yeah, they're like, I got to size this, get some new pants. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's
And
the
anyway,
beauty of
she's a bit
romanticism.
upset. Yeah, she's a bit upset about it because he keeps breaking into her room while she's sleeping to leave these pants. That was just a bit stalkerish. So she's like, "You need a shave," like as a retort. And I'm like, "No, it's not a
You need
bath.
a
Like,
shave. And then
you need a shave.
what does he do?
Do I'm a queen? Here, here's my knife." And she's like, "Oh." And he's like, go ahead. Go for the throat. And he's totally baiting her again.
He is so baiting her. He's like, "Go on then." She's like, "Well, I could slit his throat." "Oh, but I can't do it. It's too much." She's not a killer. She can't do it.
No. And she's just like, "I'm not your valet. Do it yourself." Even
I
though,
know.
like, they're all giving her a right Ned accent. "I'm not your valet."
"I know your ballet. Get stuffed. Why haven't you shaved? You stink."
Yeah. And he's just like, keep the dagger. We'll start your training with that dagger tomorrow." Like, "We're gonna do that." And she's like, Wait, you're training me?" And he's like, "Yeah, like someone has to."
And
So
he's
I
like,
didn't really
"This,"
get
and
that.
then every time he's like, "It's your idea. Like, let me just gaslight you some more."
Yeah, so he has to try, like, he's like, "First lesson, don't let me take the knife." So they're having their first lesson here on the bow, where, like, and she's just okay, I'm just gonna say it, she's just crap. She's not been given train
She
like, nobody's actually
bless.
given her training,
He's
and she's
like,
not been
he's it's the shame of it that he's like, "Perhaps we should start with just walking because you can't
Yeah,
walk for shit on this boat."
like, oh, and he just keeps tripping her up. They're like, yeah, she hasn't got balance, she can't do the stance and all that it's like, basically like an Esther Cassian thing where he was just like, "Why don't we just get you just standing in a stance
So
because you can't use a knife."
yeah, you can't do shit. But it's funny when she's like, "Well, these shoes, I'm not used to wearing them. There's a thicker sole." And he's like, "Would you like me to send someone for your slippers?" And you're like,
He's like,
"No."
"Princess." Oh my God. She's like, "I'm not scared of you."
And she's like, "You
She's like,
tripped
"You
me."
tricked me.
Really?
Really?" Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't go well the first lesson. Like she's getting like I know he's trying to push her, but she is getting a bit bruised and battered here and being put down a lot. Like that's quite mean.
It
So
is. There's even a bit where she's like, "Okay, I'm ready." And then he goes, "Praise the gods." And you're just like, "Bitch."
yeah, like come on. So yeah. So anyway, they get to that and they have a break afterwards, and she's like, "You must have a name." And he says, "Maybe I'll tell you if you earn it." And she just goes, "What?" And he just laughs and he's like, "I will never trust you."
Yeah, because she says, like, "Earn it like your trust." And he's like, "I won't trust you." And you're like, "Well, then I will never know your name, so screw you."
He just says like, "Yeah, I will never trust you." So I was like, "Oh, that's okay." But then she goes into a bit of a deep despair, like downward spiral, because she's
Well,
just like, "No one ever trusted me, not my father, not Margot, not my mom, like my
I
like friends." And I
know.
was like, "God," like her background, she's like, "I never had any friends because they just wanted to use my title and everything against me,
Yeah.
so
I
nobody
do feel
trusted me
bad for
ever."
her. She's just like, "Yeah, I guess it's no different here." It's that kind of hopefulness of wanting something, but she's just not
Mhm.
getting it. So you definitely she is broken. She's moving one foot in front of the other, but she's not really mentally healthy.
No, I feel a bit bad for her. But yeah, so that's
No.
all happened and stuff. And she's just like going in a bit of a downward spiral,
Yeah, but
saying that
she
no one
just
ever
keeps on
trusted
doing
me.
that shit about her dad, though. She's like, "I need to earn his trust. I'm here for my father." And you're just like, "Girl, he's a dick."
Yeah, don't know. Like, go live your life. He's just using you. Like, he's never been kind to you. You just got to break that bad cycle. So get away
Mhm.
from it. But
Mhm.
he's just like, maybe the reason that it bothered me was that they, they had good cause to worry. Like Xavier had said, Turans were loyal to Turans. And she's like, yeah, and I'm an outsider again.
Mhm.
So it's a bit sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Xavier's back again and he goes, "Oh, how
Yeah.
did the training session go?" And she just goes, "Was it your idea to train him for him to train me or his?" And he was like, "It's mine. He's the best warrior in Chura." And she's just like, "No."
He's like, "Are you alright? You seem sad." And she's
Mm.
just like, "Yeah, I'm just a bit homesick." And she's like, "It's not really a lie, but it's not the truth either." And then she's just like, I think somebody then calls Xavier away again, and off he goes.
He's never like there for like, he's like, "Hey, let's have a serious conversation. Oh, I gotta go now. Bye." And he's just like,
"Hey, do you wanna talk?
I never get to know you.
Sorry, someone's calling me. Bye."
Oh, it's always like, she'll say like, "How was your day?" And he'll go, "I don't answer that question. Bye."
And
And
she's
go,
like,
and he
"Do you,"
just
he just sort of, like, goes quiet. He doesn't answer questions. Yeah.
yeah, he just goes off and then yeah, he's off again.
If you wanted a relationship for communication, this
Yeah. So anyway, we finally get to the end of this chapter where they say, right, we are here. We're at the boats are ready to go to the country now, the continent. I don't know what it kind of
yeah,
thing it
well,
is.
it looks like from what I understand, they were going Chura is massive. So,
Yeah.
my understanding is they've arrived well, they're basically the ships are out in this ocean, but they get in the smaller boats to
Yeah.
paddle them all the way to land, and that
So this
essentially is Chura, but it's Chura in the middle of fricking nowhere, nobody really lives there because they have to
yeah.
get a carriage from there and then travel inland.
So
So
there's no
that's what
port.
I understand.
I looked at the map and there is a port city. Is that
Oh,
the one that got
okay.
destroyed? I think that's the old capital that got destroyed.
Okay,
Paris
that could
got
be true.
destroyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not. They're just in the middle of nowhere taking a boat. So it's not a port. And she's like, oh, great. Okay, we're going in there. And then she sees any chance that this is where we part ways to the Guardian. And he just goes, not yet.
And she's like, "Baka." But the other thing that happens as well is her maids are like, "Oh my god, I'll die happy if I never have to see a boat again." And they're like, you have to make the trip back."
Yeah, at some
And they're
point you're
like,
going to have to.
"Shit." Yeah, so Sultan says. So anyway, they get in these carriages and, they have to pack things in a satchel.
Oh,
They're not allowed
yeah.
to take everything. And they're all like, "Holy shit, my stuff!" Which I think I would be a bit like as well. I'd be like, "Yeah, but what about my aloe vera?"
My aloe vera.
Yeah, for little bites and, like, rashes I may get.
So yeah, they've had to take a satchel. There's a new girl that comes, isn't it? Her name is I can't remember her name.
It begins with
Triala?
a T.
Uh, but yeah, so they have to have this satchel and they have to put all their stuff in it. But when they're on the beach or wherever it's kind of shore, she sees the high priest. So he must have been in one of the other like boats.
Yeah,
And
and then
he,
the Guardian and him are having, like, a moment, like an
yeah,
intense moment.
they have a chat, like a secret chat. And then he just goes like, all right. And then he goes off. See, like he was on this boat all this time, like one of the other boats. What would he do
Yeah.
when it was all the matter? Well, he couldn't have put a spell on it or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks a lot.
he's got all this bloody power and he didn't do shit. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Anyway, he says like, yeah, this chat with the high priest of the Guardian, it was like almost affectionate, like they were brothers. And I'm a bit, well,
Interesting.
that's a bit weird, isn't it?
It's gonna be some, like, godly thing that's going on.
Is is that how he got his powers through the brothers or something
Well,
like
that's what
that?
she's curious about. She's now thinking because the Vossar have powers, perhaps he's been given them. But then the whole comment about gods are made makes me kind of go, maybe it's not that straightforward. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah. So the
So
priest
anyway,
is there. Yeah, he's there and he's got the black case strapped to his back, the Shields of Sparrows, the whole treaty and everything.
oh
So he's
yeah.
got that. And he's like, yeah, I'm taking that. See ya. Bye. And he just goes off and he says he's on his way to the Ozark border.
But the other thing that gets mentioned again when we find out the Voster high priest was there is she's not comfortable with them. She hates their power. It's
The
like
crack on her
awful
skin.
and itchy and she hates it. So this is like we know that from the beginning of the book, but it's basically pointed out again in the story. So it's obviously gonna be a point of contention somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, that she can feel all the crackling and she's like, oh, it just makes her really uncomfortable and nauseous. So she doesn't like them. But anyway, the priest is off. He just goes off somewhere. And then the guardian's walking back to them. And he's just like, she goes laughing. A warmth had spread through my belly, cooling lower. Oh my God, no, I forced like my eyes forward. She's starting to get some secret thoughts for the guardian. And I'm like,
She's like,
you're a
he's quite
married girl.
handsome. No, 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 no. I do love that because you think, well, he's obviously super hot, but you can't. Yeah. So the woman that we were talking about earlier that comes with I guess the carriages, everything,
Yeah.
Tilia. What's her name?
Tilia,
So
that's it.
Tilia, yeah, so she's like, it had 3 empty satchels looped over her shoulders, and then she slips one off and says, "Okay, anything important you retrieve from the trunks, you can keep these." Obviously, the maidens are like, "No, my items!" But anyway, they have
Yeah.
to pack light for now.
Yeah. Also, they keep calling her like Princess Odessa Wolf. And she's like, no, like just call me like Odessa. And they're all like up against it going, oh no, like I don't want to. And it was a bit weird as well. Like she's like, why won't anybody just call me Odessa? Like they call Xavier Xavier. Why do I
Yeah.
have to have the title? And she doesn't understand why they're a bit like, that's rude not to say the whole title or something. And I was like,
It is peculiar because if they do it for
Xavier.
Xavier, why are you not doing it for her? I don't
Yeah.
know. It is an interesting point. So anyway, Xavier says, "Can you ride?" To which Odessa, our main character, says, "Well, I can, but I haven't ridden a." And that's gonna be a real shit journey for her. I feel really
What
bad.
happens if she said no?
They'd be like, "Oh well, we'll sub you in with someone." That would be what would happen.
God.
But I mean, it's pretty crap because she has been on this journey on a boat, and now she's getting off it, has to lose her items, and now ride a painful horse.
Yeah.
So her basically, she's on. They're riding. This is why they had the satchels. They can't take the stuff, and she's in pain because they ride for hours.
Yeah, yeah. But she's like riding with Xavier, and she goes, "Does everybody here know you can speak?" And he's like, he nods, and then she says, "Does everybody in Chura know you can speak?" And he shakes his head. So he's back to being a mute, but only a sometimes mute.
So there's clearly two different like there's gonna because we haven't there's obviously tension in Shurian. There's obviously people that are Xavier's peeps and then maybe a different political shit that's going on that he
Yeah,
doesn't
because we
like.
hear like briefly King Ramsay, and that's Xavier's dad, I'm guessing. But we don't hear anything else. We just know that there's a king.
So I'm gonna say that he's a bit of a douchebag and Xavier's trying to be this is why Xavier's doing this thing with Odessa and the Shield of Sparrows and the Guardian. There's
He'd be like, "Yeah, you got to do the fulfill the Shield of
or
Sparrows
maybe
thing."
he knows it in a different way. He's been communicated something slightly different. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Anyway, time will
Yeah.
tell. So we're into chapter
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. So yeah, they're off. They're still. It's like really slow. They're like, "Oh, we're still on a horse. We're still on a horse. We're going in
We're not
here.
on a boat.
Oh,
We're on a
we're going
horse.
to go. We're going here." And then they talk a bit more about like other like monsters that are going on here. And she said they're going to set up a camp because we need to. The coastal forests are thick with grizzlies. So we find out
Yes,
like
another kind of monster.
it's
Yeah.
like a grizzly bear, but with like thorns or like kind of I don't know pointy bits like a
I'm assuming
stegosaurus
what
coming
I
out of its back.
imagined is it's a bear that's a hedgehog. It's a hedgehog
Yeah,
bear.
a hedgehog bear. That's a good way. So she's like,
Yeah.
"All right, okay," and they have to light these fires around the camp to stop the grizzler from coming. And she
Yeah,
was just
within
like,
it's they don't like fire or some shit. Yeah.
so yeah. So she finds out that Chura is like the largest of the five kingdoms, but has less than the number of people than in Quintus. So, and that's the smallest of the kingdoms. So it's a bit like the Highlands, really.
Yeah, I kind of don't imagine Turin to be very green yet. I imagine it to be more
Woods and like,
like kind of
and
dry and but there's wood there's greenery but it's kind of dry like I don't know I imagined it to be a bit more droughty if you know what I mean but then maybe that's just in my head I'm not sure why I think that.
yeah. But she did say she has asked like why are they lighting so many fires? And I'm guessing it's for the grizzler, but nobody ever answers her. They're like,
Not directly, no, they're just say stay within
what's
the
going on?
fire that don't go beyond where we've put the fires and you're like cool so could you tell me why.
Yeah.
Oh cool.
So yeah, she gets in and they've made a tent ready for her and everything. So she's like, thank you. And then she gets like she goes in and there's actually like a big tub that she can kind of have some water in because, like, I don't actually know if she's had a bath on that boat.
Yeah, I don't that's unclear, yeah, so she basically has a bath made so she can soak her poor
But
muscles in.
then before she goes in the bath, all she gets is, "Need help with your hair?" And the Guardians, they're like, he's obsessed with her. He won't leave her alone. He just wants to be in her presence all the time." And she's just like,
He's
"Oh my God, go away."
it's like the bands, he's obsessed with the bands. He loves it. He loves egging
Yeah.
her on because he knows that she ain't gonna kill him. She he's just pushing I don't know, there's definitely tension, I'm here for it,
Yeah.
very much so.
But he just says, "We'll train tomorrow. Don't wander past the fires, not even for the river." And she's like, "Well, what the hell?" Like, and like, what's going on? And she's like, "Because I'd like to speak to my husband in private. What we discuss is none of your concern." And he's just like, "Feel free to wander into my tent, princess. Xavier likes to share." And I'm like, "Oh my God." And she's like, "I didn't want that. I didn't want the Guardian." So like he just keeps baiting her, like, oh, and she doesn't get to speak to Xavier to figure out what's going on or get to know him. She just gets the Guardian all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It's savage really because it's just you
Yeah.
kind of are going, "Xavier likes to share." I don't wanna
No.
know what kind of
Xavier
messed
doesn't
up
want
shit that you guys have going on, and you know that it's total balls, it's basically he's just wanting to she's prim and proper. She's like, "That's not how we do it," and he's like, "Oh, do you know what's gonna peeve her off today? This. You know what's gonna peeve her off? This." And that's like the
Yeah,
highlight of his day. I think he doesn't have much other than, "I have to murder things and keep everyone safe," and his happy times are to come to Odessa and make her life shit while she goes, "Do you not have any personal boundary?" And he's like, "Nope."
yeah. So he's just like going out. So she chucks him out of the tent, goes to bed. But before she goes to bed, and we end up on this like chapter, a roar rips through the campsite. So we know that that the Grizzler.
I'm assuming yes.
Yeah. So
It
yeah,
doesn't
that's it.
come into the camp, she kind of manages to have her bath, close her eyes, and assume someone's kinda dealt with it.
Yeah, it doesn't roar again or something. So she's just like, yeah, whatever. Like what's happening? Like I don't know. And she just kind of so she decides like I like the next day I'm gonna go wander around the camp and figure out what's going on. Like her ladies' maids again are useless, and they're all like, "Do you need
Useless.
something? Do you need? I'm really tired." And she's like, "Go have a sleep in my bed," and they're like, "Oh no, I possibly."
Now, Jocelyn and Brielle are like, bless them, they're just real shit. They just
Yeah,
not
sure.
doing their job. They're just not like, if you want, like, a reference for how were they abroad, shit.
Yeah, like just she's just like, "Yeah, just go for a sleep. I'm just gonna go for a wander around the camp then." I'm like, "What the?" And
Okay,
she's
okay,
just
if
like,
you're sure, if you're sure. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, she goes for a wander around the camp, but she doesn't get far because
Mm-mm.
Tilia is like literally babysitting her, and she's like,
Oh,
"Hi,
that's
Highness.
"How you doing?"
Hello.
She's going, "Oh
Is there
god,
anything
are
I can
you"
do for you?" And she's just like, "You okay? Like you have to shadow me?" Of course. Like, and
I
she
love
just
how
said,
she's just, "Yeah, you're the princess, so you know." Nope.
yeah, she's just like, and she's like, "Where are we going?" And she's like, "We'll travel to Elder." And she keeps asking about like, oh, and like, we'll pick up supplies before continuing to Alazaria, which is the place that she's supposed to find out. She's like,
Everyone's
we need to find
silent.
out where the capital is, like Alazaria, so I can tell like that one of the handmaids, and she can go back and tell my dad. And every time like she says that, everyone just goes really well.
"La
Tilia
la
goes,
la la
"What's
la
that?
la." What's that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's that? What's that? What are you talking about?" She's like, "What
I
the hell?" Like,
I think King Ramsay is in Alizaria,
it's
like,
his
that's his
kingdom or something.
kingdom, and maybe it's, like, super messed up, because you remember when Xavier was saying about, "I don't talk to" like, not everyone knows I talk in Shura, which could mean I don't know. Like, I'm assuming he's the rebel and they're kinda like the Empire or some shit. I'm not sure. Just Star Wars
Yeah.
reference, but that's my thoughts. But we don't know at this point. So anyway, Tilia is monitoring, babysitting Odessa, and then eventually she keeps
The
again
Guardian.
trying to say Odessa, and she's going,
Highness. Yeah. So yeah, then she's with Tilia for a bit, and then she kind of disappears because the Guardian takes her place. And she's like, "Oh, don't you have anybody else to pester?" and stuff like that. And she was like, "Oh, I heard this roar. What was it?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, it was a monster." And she's like,
And
"Is it
it's
a grizzler?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is their territory, hence the fires." And she's like, "Right, okay, no one tells me a bloody thing."
And I love it because she's like, did you kill it? And instead of responding, yes, Odessa, I killed it. No. What does he say? He gives a look of like, what do you think? And it's like, bitch, this is sassy guardian. I swear God.
Yeah. So yeah, I know. He's just like, "Oh yeah, whatever." And she's like, "I just want to know, like anything. Like, what am I up against?" And he's just like, "Fine, whatever." And so she takes her to go and see the grizzler. And she's like, "Oh yeah, its tipped in claws were as wide as their shoulders on all fours. It had to stand at least 6 feet tall, and if it rose up on its hind legs, it was probably 10 feet tall. And the
Mm.
grizzle's head was turned on its ear. So she was like, "Oh my God, you cut off its head," and he just goes, "Almost." And
I know.
so yeah, so she sees this thing and it's like really dead. But this one is dark red. This is not green.
It's
So
not
does that mean like
green.
that's a female then? I don't know what the green blood is
Well,
on the
it's
red blood.
interesting. Yeah. So they again, no comment.
No comment.
So yeah, he's just like, but then she does say, I want my sword.
I want a
You
sword. And he's
agreed.
like, yeah, you got trade.
You look dead on your feet, Sparrow. Rest and then we'll train tomorrow. So they're like, fine, okay,
Yeah. And
here
then
you go.
time passes still at this camp. I don't know why they're staying here for so long. Is it just because the route is bad or nobody else is explaining that as well?
No, it doesn't really get explained. And then it seems like certain people veer off to two separate locations. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So we kind of get into chapter 17 and we
He's
we're back
training.
still in the cap and it's like first day of training with I want a sword. And she's going, yeah, what was I thinking? If I died in this makeshift training area today, it would be my own damn fault. And you're like, okay.
Basically, he's trying to teach her not to go backwards, to go to the side, because every time she goes backwards, she slides up on her ass. So he's just like, "Come on, use your balance." And I just feel like when I was reading it, I was like, "This is literally Cassian and Nesta and the
It,
what should we call it? And the thing up the top, like of the House of like Wind."
however, I do think Nesta was a little bit more competent,
Yeah,
you
Lesta was
know?
a bit mean, and like Cassian was a bit nicer to her, where it seems like the other way
Oh,
around.
reversed.
Yeah, it's reversed now.
Reversed.
It's basically if Nesta was like training Cassian, and like that's how it feels like this. Like so he's like really a dick to her, like pushing her around. And she's like not even getting she's like really trying to practice. And she has got the determination, but he's just giving her no chance.
He's going
Does he
hard on,
hate
and
her or like her?
there's there
Does
is
he
a
hate her or
point
like her?
there's a point where it's like he's going really hard on her for possibly two different reasons, right? So one will be if you want to know how to do it, it's hard. You need to just full ass it. And usually it's the classic thing of when you have a teacher, she's pretty great. Like when I had my dance teacher growing up, she was pretty like feisty and she would scream if you got it wrong and you would cry and go home because you got, but it kind of made you go, no, I'm going to do it because when you did it right, she would go, good, that's it. And so I think that's the kind of teaching he's trying to do. But then at the other time, he's probably like, you're a spy for your dad. I'm going to make your life a living hell.
Yeah, I hate you.
So
Like, what do you want? I'm never going to trust you.
I,
That's
fe-
what I get from this.
I feel like he's in the middle. He's like, I want to be a good trainer, but I also know I can't trust you because you're basically spying for your father.
You're not a chura
Yeah.
or churin or whatever. So it's just like, oh God. So yeah, it doesn't go well. It goes on for
No,
hours,
but there is a
doesn't it?
significant quote that is in this that every
Yeah.
romanticy person's like, oh my God. And it's the bit where he says, Praise is for the bedroom cross, not the training ring.
Oh
This
my God.
man, I swear to God, has zero filter. Zero.
No. And she literally just wants to kill she the funny as well is like because Odessa's like, "Oh my God, look at his muscles. Oh my God, look at his hair. But I want to kill him. I literally want to kill him now." This and I'm like, okay.
Love.
But yeah, so this is all happening and everything. But it's like, yeah, and he keeps pushing her to do this training. And then like it's Xavier that helps her. Like
Oh
he's like
my
she's just
God.
going, "I don't want to be the queen of Chura." And he's like, "Stop backing away." And he's like he goes, "So you'd rather rot in a gold castle, wither away to nothing while your family forgets your existence? You are nothing to them." Like, my God. Like, it's just like really mean. Like, your father gave you away as so much
Mm.
as a blink. And then what was the other thing? He goes, "A man who would also let you go without a fight. And don't you have a little brother? Did they even let you say goodbye?" That was low. That was really low. Like,
But
he
is
was
he wrong? But is he wrong?
he's not wrong, but oh, come on. I know he's trying to get her to go angry so she'll like have the rage and fight, but like she's just like
Oh,
that was a bit
she's
low.
gone. She's just depleted now. She's like, you know what? Just kill me. Nobody gives a shit about me anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, and
Whatever.
it's Olivia that goes and says just enough. She's done, and he's like, "No, get up. I'll like say when it's enough." And Xavier's the one that just puts his foot down and says, "No, let her go. Like enough."
Yeah, and it's interesting because the Guardian's like, "What? Xavier, what are you talking about?" Like, he's surprised that Xavier told him, "No, she's done. Leave her alone."
Yeah.
And it's so interesting dynamic to see
Mm.
Xavier say to tell the Guardian,
Yeah, because he just clenches his jaw and Xavier's word.
yeah, it's interesting, like, she's had enough, and then he goes up to her and says, "Are you hurt?"
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, "Obviously, no." And then
Yeah,
he's
that's
like,
the thing.
"I came to tell you I'm leaving
Yeah,
again."
I'm going like it's like a such a Xavier thing. He's like it's always like on the boat. He's like, "Hey, how are you? How are you doing?" "Yeah, I'm fine." "Where are we going?" "I've got to go to the other boat now." "Hey, how are you? Are you hurt?" "No, I'm not hurt. I came to tell you I'm leaving. I'm off to Paris. Bye."
It's so I feel like that's a very just Xavier trait in this book now. It's like classic Xavier. One minute he's here, the next minute he's gone.
Yeah. I don't like he literally asks questions, but he doesn't want to hear the answer to them. And so he just goes, "Yeah, okay, bye." And he's just like, "You're gonna travel with Tilly and the others, okay?
Yeah, because she's like, "I
I'll see
guess
you
I'm not
later."
going." He's like, "It's not safe," which is basically bullshit.
Oh, yeah, it's
Or
bullshit.
I don't trust your ass. I need to go and do this thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And he's like, "Oh yeah, you're going." And she's like, "Let me guess, at dawn?" And he's like, "Yep." And she's like, "Bye."
I have to say though, what's an interesting thing is she goes back to the tent to, do her thing, and there's a warm bath waiting and an apple. And the apple is from The Guardian because although we haven't mentioned it in this podcast, there was a scene where he was eating an apple on the boat
Yeah, when
and
they
he was
first
with a
arrive, yeah.
knife because he's badass, right? And so she's like, I didn't let myself think about who had likely arranged for them both. So you're like,
He
so he
felt
feels
bad.
bad about it. That's why he did the bath and the apple.
Yeah, he
So
did
you
that.
wonder, is there was he just being an asshole or was his monster just taking over
And,
him? Just, and that's why Xavier was like, "You're done. She's done. You're losing it." And then he was like, "Okay." I don't know. Points.
something going on there. So yeah, they're off again on their big travels. The
On
camp
the
is all
horses.
taken.
Chapter 18.
Xavier's gone off. Yeah, Xavier's gone off to Paris or whatever, and she's like going off with Tilia and the rest of them off
Mm.
for the next bit to Elder or wherever it is. So yeah, so it's just like one of those things that I felt like in this book it was just like, and then we go,
It was
and
very
then
like
we're
journey. It was journey, journey, journey.
yeah,
So they're moving on. Her body's aching. Her handmaidens are following her. And then they start hearing a series of clicks in the dark that
yeah,
are
clicks and growls.
reverberating. So we're assuming this is a new monster, and some of the guys are like, on your left, report,
Yeah.
get this guy, 1, 2, 3 is everyone. Oh yeah, we've got everyone.
So,
Phew, thank God.
yeah, luckily they've got everyone, but this monster's called a Barry Wolf? A Barry Wolf.
Barry Wolf. Barry the Wolf. No, it's literally Bari wolf.
Barry Wolf.
Wolves. So
Yeah. So there's those as well, like, so they've got that to do, and as well as Grizzlers out there. And so
I'm just gonna
they were
shade a
saying,
little bit on the maidens though. So this shit's going down, and one of them, and that's okay, you're scared. She's like, oh, I miss the sound of the ocean. And she's like, so do I. I want to go home. And I'm like, bitch, you are the worst maidens. Like, you were supposed to be supporting her, and all she's
worst
done
dead
is
maidens
support
ever.
you guys. And that's all she's done for her entire family. Like, be a support, damn it. Anyway.
Yeah, you're meant to be there for her. And she's like, I'm so sorry for pulling you. That's okay. But yeah,
Also,
so
I've got an iron brew, guys. I'm just showing it to the camera. Sorry.
get it through.
Continue.
So yeah, they have to go through this. So there were, the fires were there again, but they weren't as
Yes.
large, and they had people like staying up all night to like look at it. And yeah, so they're just having to like stay there in this really dangerous place. And so she's like, it's getting more dangerous and dangerous as the journey is going on. Like, first of
Yeah.
all, like there were Mariwheels, now there was like bears, now they're going further in, and there's these wolves. And she's just like, oh my God, like what's next is going to come round. And then all of a sudden they had this thing, this earthquaking footsteps growing louder and louder as this beast raced for a camp. So you're just like, what the hell is going on now?
That's right.
And
But it happens all in the dark, doesn't it? So
yeah,
you
so
don't
when they're
actually see.
sleeping.
So the beast it never makes it quite towards them. It sort of stops and there's like a noise. And then suddenly the hero who slayed the Barry Wolf, the Guardian.
Another, it was another one. It was a Grizzler as well. So he
A
slayed the Grizzler.
Grizzler, yeah.
And so the Barry Wolves are out there, but there was a Grizzler that came to thing it, and he's like choked it, and then he stalks through the flames covered in dark blood, and
Like
they're
a
all like,
badass.
yeah, like it's the Guardian. They cheer for him, and then he comes up to Tilia and gives her like a compassionate like talk, puts their heads together and stuff like that. And she's like, "Oh my God, is Tilia and the Guardian together? Like, what's
Yeah,
going
because they like
on?"
put like a sort of head to head, quite sentiment modulate. So they're like seeing each other in it.
Oh, and then he
But
comes up to her and he's like, "Are you all right, my queen?" And she's like, "He's very gentle." And she's like, "Was it a Grizzler?" "Yes." "Is it dead?" "Cross." "Oh, right. Okay, that was a stupid question." And he's just like, "We leave at dawn." "Yes, I get it." And that's how he leaves
I
it.
know.
And she's
At
like,
dawn. Yes, I know. At dawn.
yeah,
Yeah.
at dawn. And then we start chapter 19, and it starts with a very interesting story, like from her
Yes.
backstory. Numbers chapter 19 starts with something from her
It's to
backstory.
do with when she was 13 years old
Yeah,
and a
her mum was still
scullery
alive.
maid just tried to poison her.
Yeah, because
And
there was a lord that who had been a gambler, and he'd hoped that a death
yeah,
in royal family would buy him more time to win a fortune. I basically say bullshit.
what a dumbass
Bullshit. Yes.
choice. Dumbass.
No, like I think she's been told that. I don't think that's the true story.
Ooh, I like that. I like what you're saying. No, I didn't come to that conclusion. Oh, I like that thought.
No, because she's just like, it seemed really like overstretched. She's like, yeah, it's got to mean posing to me because somebody got into a gambling debt and wanted to like just delay his debt payment, and I was like,
Oh.
what? Delay? Like he could have run on the run.
It's a bit odd. Yeah, I will grant you that. Because then the maid and he was hanged in Roslo public square. They're
Yeah,
dead.
because like, hmm. Anyway, like, so the doctors didn't know how I'd survived the poison.
Ah, you see there, that's the crux right there. She can't be killed. Telling you that right now.
Something like, how did she like?
Because think she jumps
Where
off
she
that
fell.
cliff every so often. She didn't die.
Yeah, maybe something.
I don't
She's
know.
got
Maybe there's
superpowers.
something. Maybe there's some element to her. that maybe she's part
Yeah,
Sparrow and we just don't know. I don't know.
maybe. Like, you know what? Like, yeah, because you know what? Like, the Guardian says, like, he has these battles with all these monsters, and then he
Mhm.
heals instantly. She's never been like, she got the marrow wheel, like, flung her around and stuff like that. She's not complained about it, has she?
No, like she should have like hit
She's
her
been
hip,
tired.
broke something, punched in the bruise or something. Yeah.
She's had this whole much training with training with the Guardian, and
Mm.
they've been really at it. Like, and she's been like, "Oh, I need a bath afterwards. I'm tired." She's not like
Oh.
had
Do you
bruises
know
all over
what's
my body.
clever is she's not really mentioned it either. Because if you
No.
think about the time before where she touched the marrow eel that were dead in Quintus, and she said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I cut my hand, it's bleeding." The only
Yeah.
cut that we're told about is the one that was the wedding vow. That's still
Yeah.
healing, but maybe that's different because it's a ritual? I don't
And
know.
it's a like the high priest stuff magic. Maybe that's something to do with it.
Yeah, maybe that's a different thing, but I'm not sure. But I like your theory though that it wasn't they didn't tell her the real truth and she survived the
Um,
poisoning. So that's a significant point. Yes, the powder was twice as toxic as venom from any snake, but my body had fought the fever and somehow I'd live. Haven't questioned it, just assumed that's how things are done. Come
yeah, and
on.
it was the worst I'd felt until now, riding across this landscape, and I'm like, "What?
Interesting.
Really?" And yeah, she was saying, and then it just mentions. I just feel like this is important later on. She keeps saying fennec was rare in Calandra, and like it was
Well,
illegal
Fennec
and
is a
stuff.
type of monster, right?
No, like though fennec were rare, yeah, they were fox-like monsters who'd been hunted to extinction, but if they have this powder they produce and it's poison, and
Mm.
breeding fennec was illegal in the kingdoms, and they didn't. So like, yeah, so what? So somebody had like taken these animals, they produce a powder and it turns into poison, and and then she just goes and says like, yeah, well, were there wild fennec and sure, I was too tired, I was frightened. I'm just like, and then we're back on the road again, and I'm like, what was that? What was the whole thing about the poison thing and the fennec?
Do you
And
know
then
what
we're
it
back on the
is?
road.
There's an element of Odessa that because we know some of her background and that she's lacking she's
Yeah,
not lacking she's lacking an element of self-confidence. She
yeah,
obviously is pissed about being summoned by men and told what to do and everything, and she has a bit of sternness, but she immediately I think she's just incredibly lonely. And
yeah,
so
yeah.
that's really what it is. It's less about she's just incredibly lonely. She has no friends. Even her
Oh,
handmaidens are
she's been
shit.
shut off.
Yeah.
Oh, she's been shut off. Like, why?
And everyone's like, "Oh, why don't you dye your hair? Why do you have weird eyes? Why are you so different?" And it's kind of like,
Why?
okay, so she's been told that her whole life. Yeah, she's probably. So I think she gets these elements. She doesn't really think about it because she says, "Oh, well, I'm not special." Because she's been told she's not special. She's not really thinking, "Oh, wait a minute. Should I be questioning that about myself?"
Mhm.
She's just, yeah. So she's just thinking, I must do this for my dad. This is my number one priority. And she's thinking about nothing else. But yeah, so we find that tidbit. And then, as you say, the journey
And just
continues.
continues on the journey. Yeah, we just continue on this journey, going through the things, and then she goes to Tilia. We're almost there in Elder, and then she just goes, "There's been a slight change of plan. We're stepping in trio," and I'm like, "Are you just telling her now, or you wouldn't have even told her if she didn't ask? What is trio?"
I'm not gonna, I
So
mean, I understand why they aren't telling her. I get it. I
yeah,
understand why, because they know she has bad. So they're trying to basically, and she says to her, she knows as well, Odessa. She's going, aha, okay, that's fine.
yeah,
But there was another thing that she mentioned. She said, my journal was tucked safely into my satchel, so I've
yeah,
added a few notes. Except the moment Tilia had seen me sketching, she's just sketching. She
yeah.
was like, "Put that journal away." And you're just thinking,
Don't let anybody see it. Yeah, just hiding
what's the
away.
deal? Why is that a problem?
Also, like I was a bit like, right, okay, it's like if she had seen it, she probably would like, I'm taking that off you. Like, can't have that. You're spying on us. But it was more like a, shh, don't let anybody see that you've got this. Like she was protecting her. So I was like, oh, right, okay.
I think that they know more about Odessa than Odessa knows about herself.
Yeah, I think so too. There's something
So,
fishy going on. But
yeah.
anyway, she gets like True, and she's like, "Oh, is it a town?" And she's like, "Yes and no." And I'm like, "Oh, for God's sake, was
Oh
someone
my
just give a
God,
direct
I
answer?"
hate that answer when people go, yes, but
Yeah.
also no. I'm like, you know what? Do you want a bitch slap across the face right now? Because I'm getting real pissed off. But
Yeah,
then
but
we
anyway,
get there and she lives in the, as you quite rightfully said, the Ewok land, the moon of Endor.
yeah, all the places and trees, and like all the Ewoks are there. And well, actually, no, they're real people, like human beings that live. I was just like, oh, they've got walkways in the trees, and why do they live in the trees? I don't really know. But also, who's there is oh, I can't remember what's his name, but it's Tilia's husband. He comes up and he gives her, and they
Oh.
start smooching with her, and she's like, oh right, so
I
who's
think it's
he?
really funny because it's funny because they start seeing these other soldiers come towards their party, and obviously the one comes up to Tilia and they just start snogging immediately, hugging
Yeah,
each other, and she's like, "I thought she was with the Guardian." Okay, I mean, she's like, "I'm slightly relieved," and she's like, "No, I don't care."
yeah, I slightly relieved, and I'm like, okay, and no, no, and then she's like, oh no, this is my husband, and she's like, right, okay, so she's not with the thing, right, okay.
It
So
is
yeah,
quite
that was a bit
funny.
weird.
And then they're like, "Okay, should we just move around them? Because 'Cause they're kind of into it
Oh yeah,
right now." They're basically
yeah, they
like,
have to like walk around the horses while they're
so
having like a well, they're at it, yeah. And then anyway, she catches up with her later, and she's just like, "Oh, that was my husband, Alston. He'd been traveling with Xavier, but the Guardian told me the other night he was leaving Paris to join us. But I was always worried when we're apart." So that was the conversation they were having, just an intimate conversation. But she thought it was like
ah,
something else. Yeah,
okay. She was like, "Understood." Okay. So now she understands, but
and then yeah,
she does have a moment that's like, "No, I wish someone would love me like that."
oh yeah, with my marriage to Xavier, probably not. It's going to be a loveless marriage. Yeah, right.
But then she asks Brielle, "Have you ever been in love?" And she says, "Yes. He broke my heart, but I still love him." And you're like, "Wow, relationships in Quentis are shit."
I mean, like I think handmaidens and like Quintus is shit.
Oh, yeah, let's put it that way. Let's get to the crux of it. Yeah.
No, I just think you did. I think you've made a good thing getting to Chur. Like, come on, start again.
Yeah, start
Yeah,
afresh, girls.
start again
So yeah, so they get there and
to the Ewok
eventually once
base.
she's explained that, she says, "Okay, well, we've got a place for you in my quarters." Like Tilly has got like a guest room, some kind of thing.
Yeah, something in a tree house. So she's got some space for like Odessa, but the other ones her handmaids have to go in. Like one of them has to stay somewhere, and the other one has to stay somewhere else.
Oh
And so
yeah, they
they have to
separate
work.
them.
Yeah,
So
and
that's a real dick. I mean, we know why they've done it, but oh,
yeah,
ouch.
yeah, and the Guardian says as well, like, oh, you've got to like, they're gonna earn their wage while they're here, so you got to make your own bed.
Oh yeah, because they're basically saying if you expect your handmaidens to like get you breakfast and make your bed, and you're like, bitch, they haven't been doing that since she left Quentis.
No,
So
they
you
haven't.
coming in here and telling me I have to make my own bed? I already been doing that. I've been hiking up there sick on a boat for weeks.
Yeah.
Come on,
And
poor
she like
girl.
anyway, she goes she's like, right, Tilia, like, why are there tree houses? And she's like, oh, it's safer this way. We're in Tarkin territory now. Don't know what Tarkin are.
Right, so that's another
There
animal of
are
some
the
sort.
occasional packs of berry wolves that will venture close. Grizzlies typically prefer the coast and plains, though they are unpredictable. And she's like, and most villages in Chura have had to develop ways to guard against monsters.
Mm.
So this is it. And she's like, ta-da! And I'm like, okay.
And it's so funny, she's like, "Was this Xavier's treehouse? Would he be
Oh, yeah.
joining me?" And then she's like, "Oh, we'd have to suffer through a night of awkward sex. I
Oh, yeah.
really hope it wouldn't be today." And they're like, "No, no, you're staying in mine." Okay. But then when she tries to climb the ladder, it's the funniest
Yeah.
shit ever. I thought that was so funny. She's like,
She,
"You
yeah,
need
she's just
help?"
like,
She's
"Need
like,
some help." Nah, nah.
"No, I can do it." But to be honest, climbing a rope ladder is hard.
Yeah.
It's
It is hard,
real
like, and it's not
hard.
tied to the bottom either. You're just swinging everywhere going, "Oh god." And she's like, "I've
I
never climbed a rope ladder before." And she was like, "Oh god." And it's pretty high, she says, like, it's pretty high.
So, you know how it's on social media, it's been announced that Stars TV production company has bought Shields of Sparrow
Yeah. Oh,
to do a TV show on it. And oh no, no, no. Sorry, am I getting that wrong? It could be a different one. But anyway, it's been taken up by the guys that wrote John Wick. That's what I definitely know. And I'm just thinking if it got made into a TV show or whatever, it would be so funny to see whoever's going to play Odessa just like hanging off
getting it.
this like the thing and just like run and roll off. They have to have comedic value. That is a number one.
Yeah. What the hell? But it does, like, when she gets to the top, it looks amazing. Like, this, like, room is just full of loads of fluffy, like, quilts and blankets and cushions, and it looks like she's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." Like, I was like, and it's got a little own private bathroom, and it's all hers. She's there by herself, and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
she's
that
and
sounds
it's
like a
so funny.
luxury to me.
She's so happy that she's like, if I have to endure a night of awkward sex and in that bed, I'm fine because it's a bed. Because she hasn't had a bed in so long, and she's like, yes, a bed.
Yeah, and so she hears somebody coming, like footsteps from outside, and her footstep, but she goes, "My stomach sank. Damn." And she's like, "Silly me and my expectations when I was going to learn. Of course, it wasn't my husband. It was the guardian." I'm like, "Oh my god, he can't stay away from her.
But
Like,
his
what
beard,
the hell?"
his beard be trimmed. His
Oh yeah,
beard be
he took
trimmed.
that on board that he needed a shave, and she just
Also,
goes, "You."
his pants were molded to strong thighs and draped to scuff boots. He was the most beautiful man I'd ever seen. Excuse me, girl, what's
Yeah,
happening here? She's going loco.
she is. She's like after him. She hates him, but she loves him.
But I do love that every time he comes in, she's like, "Oh, I thought you were Xavier, you know, like my husband." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint you." And it's like, God.
Yeah, he has been detained.
And he's always like, "I've never met a woman that's asked so many questions." And you're like,
'Cause you don't give any answers
"'Cause you
away.
don't answer them, bitch."
Yeah, and so he does ask the questions, doesn't he? He says, like, "I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Yeah, because she's like,
Where's your home?"
if I say yes to answering these questions, will you get out?" To which she's like, "Yes." And then the questions come.
Yeah, "Where's your home?" And she's like, "Roslo." And then he's just like, "Okay. Oh, yeah, and what did she say? Something about, like, how old are you?" She's 23, which we finally find out, and I'm like, "Oh, right, okay,
Yeah,
she's 23, not
she
19."
yeah, so he looked to be in his 20s, so we don't know how old the Guardian is, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna assume
And
he
he
looks
asks her, "Are you a
26 or
virgin?"
27.
He asks her, "Are you a virgin?" Which I was like, excuse me."
I
Like,
know, he is insane. That wasn't a any because your eyes, you don't have starbursts, and she's like, "That wasn't a question. Anything else? Are you a
yeah.
virgin?" What?
Yeah, and he asks her a whole load of other questions, and then he goes, "Did your father send you here to spy?" And she just goes, "No." And she's like, "That's the best lie I ever delivered." And he's just like, "You're a terrible liar."
I know.
She's
I
like,
did
"I
a
thought I did
great
very
job.
well."
No, I've completely effed it.
Yeah. So, and then she's trying to ask him, she's like, "How long will I be staying here? When will I travel to with Xavier to say, like, to Alazaria?" And he's just like, "Not sure." "Oh, why are you eager?" He gives nothing away. I was like, that's a bit like awful. And he
The only
goes, "You'll
thing
go
we
to
know about
Azalea when Xavier can trust you."
Yes. The only thing we know about Alazarius is like eager to see a pretty castle. So we know there's a pretty castle there, and that's about it. No, nothing else about
Yeah.
the city.
We don't know why people want to get into it as well. Like, what's the magic that they have there? And then he's like, so I'm going to live in this treehouse for the rest of my life. But there wasn't a lock. And so the only way he just goes outside her room, takes the rope ladder and just jumps off. So she's trapped in that room and can't get anywhere.
And she's like, jackass. And now I'm trapped in a treehouse. Great.
Yeah. So yeah. So we get to the final chapter of this.
Chapter 20.
And
yes.
yeah,
But then her
she's stuck.
ladder's back. The ladder has come back.
While she's been sleeping, someone's put her ladder back so she can. So it's only at night time that she can't escape. But so she's going there and she's going out to. Where is it where the Ewoks live? Andor, or somewhere?
No,
She's
they
off to
live on the
explore
moon.
Andor.
The moon of Endor. Yeah, Endor.
Endor. They live in Endor. She's like off into the little town, then going do 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 do, like
Yeah.
going for a walk.
Da da da. Yup nup.
Yeah, and walking around, and she's like, Tilly is there going, "Oh hey," and she's like, "Oh great." And she's like, "Look, we got a canteen here. It's free. It's gonna be so good."
She's like, ooh.
Yeah, she's got new clothing. They have a library there. Ooh, like so she's just like, "Oh great." That's awesome. Like, so she's getting around the little town. It's supposed to be a place where, like, an outpost, so nobody really lives there. It's for like
For like a
traveling military.
passerby. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Passing
all the
through.
places in Chura are so far away from each other. It's like this is where they can go for some rest
stop.
before they travel on with their journey.
Yeah, it's like a travel lodge situation.
Yeah, so
But
that's where
nicer.
they are.
So
So
yeah,
like, and
so
she goes up and tries to ask people, doesn't she, as well?
yes, and
She
that
goes
does
like
nobody's
talks
talking.
to people. No, she asked about Alexandria and nobody talks to her. And goes,
But she does find out, guess what, book girlies? There's a library.
Yeah, there is a library. So yeah, she goes there and yeah, so she got just it's just basically this chapter, it's just her trying to get around, figure out there's things like, for instance, her hair. So her hair is a bit like coming out, like the thing is supposed to be like the dye is coming out, and then we see something like the starburst, like all these children are playing, and the starburst of those were born in like around, and the children are a bit scared of her because of her eyes.
Yeah, you actually get a proper description that says that so like, because the kids that she was saying they're playing, they're like, so her hair was silky brown, hung in loose wispy waves over her shoulder. Her skin was as pale as starlight, and her doe eyes were grey with a starburst of cerulean blue, like the
So it's blue
ocean.
and Shura and
So
green, and like
yeah, so she said the starburst of those born in Ozarth, so not even Chura.
that kid from her. Yeah, so that kid is from Ozar. So a lot of people are traveling around, but it seems that there's a different color of starburst for every like continent.
Yeah,
But
where
she
you're
has
from.
no.
She doesn't have
But she doesn't have.
starburst. Yeah, she just has solid colored eyes.
Yeah. So yeah, she's about to go and see the library, isn't it?
But there's a pony rider that we get introduced. What's a pony rider? A pony rider
yeah,
just is the mail dude. But they don't
it's a
stop. They're like,
messenger.
here's some mail, and then they go.
Yeah, and then they go. They deliver the post across the entire country this way, every town, city. And she's like, that's interesting to know. So they might know where Alessaria is then if they were delivering mail and stuff. That's
That's
interesting
what
to
she
know.
was thinking. Yeah, so she was like, good to know, because if they're delivering mail to Alessaria, perhaps, ding, 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 I can get. But we know that's not going to work. I already know that's not going to work. I just know.
Yeah.
Because she's not very
No.
good at it.
Yeah. So she's like just going up to the dining hall, going around. And then all of a sudden, the Guardian's there. It's just like, training.
Hey, let's train, bitches.
I was like, this isn't going to go well. Is he going to push her again to the
He's going to lose his
extent?
shit again. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But.
And he's just like, no, we need to
when
get your stamina up. It's shit.
I love that he's just like, your stamina is just shit. And you're like, great. Thanks.
It's just like,
super.
but so yeah, they have to do some more training. And she does it for 3 hours. And then she's And she sees some, like, younger people, and she's like, "What about them?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, most Turans know how to wield a weapon. Like, the children learn basic skills from their parents at primary school." And she's like, "Oh, right, that's why everybody's amazing and I'm Shiza."
She's just like, great, great. But then to her defense, like everybody in the kingdom that she lived in was just like, you know what? We're not going to bother training you. They just kind of gave up on her. They just weren't.
Yeah, I just, like, forgot and stuff like that. And she goes to them, like, the guardian, she's just like, "Oh, like, what, like, I bet you were the tutor's favorite student because 'cause you're so good at
Hmm.
fighting." He's like, "No, I was a terror, and the last thing I minded was the rules. Like, my mother prayed, like, every day." And she's like, "Oh, this I'm getting a bit of an insight
But
into this
also,
guy."
he has a mother, right? So the
Yeah,
idea in my head was if he was made by the gods, that he was made and then like that's it. But obviously he must have a mother, so perhaps he was just a regular kid and then the gods changed
something
him?
happened.
Yeah, or something, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's, like, been Wolverined. No, Wolverine was, yeah, before he got the silver stuff in him.
Experimented,
Yeah,
fostered, something.
that
But
thing.
she does say his eyes stayed locked on mine as he took another drink. They're hazel today, a mix of moss and caramel and chocolate. But I noticed a few flecks of emerald green, a few striations. Sorry, I can't say that word. Striations of molten silver.
Hmm.
It, it's like there's quite a lot going on in there.
Yeah, quite a lot. He's bipolar. He's got, like,
Yeah, he's
multiple
got bipolar
personalities.
eyeballs.
Yeah, what's going on there? So, yeah, he wears these, like, things on the forearms, doesn't he? And she goes, "What does, the engravings on your, like, the cuffs on your forearms mean?" And he's like, "Oh, they are for the lies I've taken, so I'll never forget." So, he's got quite a lot on there. And
It's
she's
like
like, "Oh."
you're gonna run out of room soon.
Yeah, and she's like, "Does everybody have them?" And he's like, "Some." So, yeah, those are, and she's like, "I'm really interested in the traditions," but again, like, she gets pushed aside. So,
Yeah, he's just like, "No, no, no, no. You'll learn the traditions later. Let's get back to it." And but then she's remembering like, "Well, I'm gonna have to betray his people, so I'll probably be on that as well." Oh well.
yeah, will be on there soon too. That lovely bracelet.
And so that's us come to the end of our chapter discussion of from chapter 10, sorry, 11 to 10. I would
Yeah.
say for me, it's fine, but it's a lot of let's go here. Let's get to the
Mm.
next place. Let's go here. Da, 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 da. It's pacing. Now that this has happened, we need to like start getting up now. That's what needs to
We
happen.
need to start getting some flipping answers. Like, she's like, thing is though,
Something.
it's just like she's like asking questions and nobody's giving her any answers. Like, can
Mm-mm.
she find the library in a book or something about what the hell's going on?
No.
I just need some answers about what's going on.
Well, that's it. I'm hoping that her trip to the library would at least say, oh, so this is what this is. This is what Chura is. This is why these are all the monsters. And actually, what you end up doing is you don't know anything about that.
Yeah, we need to get some answers because, like, I don't like, we're not getting nothing. Nobody's giving her anything, and like, we need to deserve some answers about why she's like she is. What's going on with the city? What is going on with the whole Atura? What the hell is that? We've forgotten about the migration. Nobody's brought that up.
Nobody's brought that up. We've learned about new like it's the only thing I feel these chapters have gained us is we know that they know she's a spy
Yeah.
and that she's going to kill the guardian. That hopefully that's the aim. And there's some kind of virus or something spreading.
Oh yes.
Some of
Great
them
thing about
bleed
that.
green, which is
Yeah.
questionable. Instead of red
That's
blood,
the
these
spreading.
monsters. And she was poisoned at a young age but survived. And her
Oh, yeah.
handmaidens are crap at what they do. She has butt sores from riding too long. And instead of going to Elder up in
Indoor.
Endor, whatever it's called, I can't remember. We're gonna call it Endor.
Ewok village.
The tree lands, and
No one trusts her, and she's got no friends.
Xavier
And
keeps disappearing 24/7. So
he's like the worst person ever. He's just like, yeah, bye.
hey, how are you feeling? Are you okay? So anyway, I've got goals. See you later.
It's like, my God. Like, I think Odessa just needs to stand up for herself and goes, "No, I'm not taking this shit. Right, I'm off. Bye."
Yeah, she needs to sort of, if she wants to be her dad's messenger, she needs to start moving and or try something. She needs to try something, basically.
Yeah, and be like, "No, I'm not dealing with this." Like, because she does stand up to the Guardian, and she says, "No, there's been," like, she said, "No, like, I'm not listening to you. I'm not doing that." And so she just
Mm.
needs to do it again and just be like, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna get out."
She needs to rebel more just to really push
Yeah,
them, because she's being too cooperative. She needs to be a bit more aggressive,
exactly.
because they're not going to take her to Elisaria. It's not happening.
No, they're never gonna take her there. They're never gonna tell her where it is, and they're never gonna trust her. She's just gonna be there till old age, so she's gonna get cracking. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, we hope you've enjoyed our discussion of Shields of Sparrow. This is part 2. We will be back next week for part 3. And the
Yeah.
chapters we will be reading are what, Linda?
Chapters 21 to 31 next week.
Excellent. So chapters 21 to 31. Please join us on our Fable Book Club. If you want to find out all the links, please follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. And there's a Linktree link in our bio. And you can find the Fable Book Club in there and you can read along with us. But in the meantime, that's us done. We'll see you next week for more Odessa Guardian nonsense.
Yeah. What the hell is going on? If you know, please tell us.
Where is Xavier? We don't know. Yeah, so we'll see you then. Have a good evening. Goodbye.